Hey guys, here is my 10 cards, 1 kit from the Love from Lizi December card kit. Here are my card bases I've already cut and scored. So jumping right on into card 1, all my cards are A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I pre-cut everything before filming to make this video process shorter. So I've cut down some cardstock. I used a scalloped rectangle stitch die to cut out this burgundy piece, and I am adhering one of the stickers that came in the kit to this for my sentiment. If you're interested in knowing what came in the kit, I will link the unboxing above and below. The kit is sold out, but for those that have the kits, this is an inspiration video if you need ideas. Also, these videos are always good for quick cards and getting layout ideas, I guess. That's how I kind of see it. This is some pretty silver-leafed ribbon that came in the kit. I have to be honest with you, this kit kicked my butt. I've been having some crafty block. It's just been very stressful at work. And when I come home, I'm so incredibly tired. But I still want to get videos. So when I sit down, I want to make a card, but I'm so not physically able to because I'm so beat. So this video is out later than I like. So I sat down last night and just was putting it together because I knew I had to get this video out. So that completes card 1. Not really my favorite. As you can see, I kind of throw it down. But moving on to card 2. We all get that way. So, you know, it's just the way it is, I guess. But some of these cards I do like. I'm like, okay, that turned out nice. Some I do not, but that's okay. For card 2, I went ahead and adhered that really pretty, I want to say barn door type pattern paper to my card base. And I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it does have berries in that pattern paper. I used a scallop die to cut out a piece of vellum, and then a circle die to cut out a piece of the berry pattern paper. And then this cardstock is Stampin' Up's Very Vanilla. It went perfectly with the vanilla color of the kit. And then I'm bringing in a heart die from my stash. All the dies, with the exception of the rose die you'll see later on, are from my stash. They obviously did not come in the kit. So that You Are Loved is from the stamp set from the kit. I go ahead and pop that up. I was trying to think, okay, this may be good for Valentine's Day, but it could also be used for any occasion. Go ahead and use some of the ribbon that came in the kit to tie a bow to add to the bottom. The way the sentiment was being straight across, I kind of had to have it more up at the top of the heart, then centering it in the center. So I wanted to kind of use a bow to cover up that dead space below the sentiment. I use a glue dot to adhere my bow. And that will complete card 2. For card 3, the kit came with this beautiful paper. It was like pearlescent, but it had different patterns in it. One was a wave. I think a couple were waved patterns, and then there was another pattern. But I did cut this down. You can see the pattern in it slightly. And I put a sticker at the bottom that went well with the silver card base. I really wanted to keep this card simple because of that paper. It was just so pretty. I didn't want to hide it. So I take this pattern paper again that I used for my first card, and I heat emboss the sentiment, always in my heart. This sentiment is also part of the stamp set. Go ahead and use a banner die to cut that out. And then I will attach it to my card. I do use Stampin' Dimensionals to pop up the sentiment. And then that would complete this card. I really do like this card because it's clean and simple. And I think the pattern paper really shines. Well, it's not, I don't want to say pattern paper, but the textured paper, I guess. So for card 4, I am bringing in a piece of the vellum that comes in the kit. I typically don't really use the vellum. Occasionally I will, but I really liked this stag vellum with the roses. So I definitely wanted to incorporate that somehow in a card. So I used the peach cardstock because the vellum had peach in it. This is my Xyron sticker maker. This is the only way I will attach big pieces of vellum if I can't disguise it anyway with images or a sentiment. And in this case, I couldn't, so the sticker maker works really well. This piece of pattern paper that I'm adhering, that the vellum is going onto, has a light pattern. And it will show through the vellum, but it's subtle. It's not something that's going to distract from the image. I do add a couple peel-offs that came in the kit to the top and bottom where the vellum meets the paper, just to kind of give it a little border. Trim off the ends. Do the same to the top. I do go ahead and stamp a sentiment. This is dye ink. It's Cherry Cobbler by Stampin' Up, which went really well with the color scheme of the kit. I did clear, I'm trying to get it straight, so I'm having to go off camera. I heat embossed it with clear embossing powder, and dye ink dries quick. So if you do this, it's possible, but you got to move quick. Have everything laid out. So as soon as you stamp it, you pour your embossing powder on. And it worked out fine. I don't know if I necessarily like the sentiment there, but oh well. I did add some sequins, hoping that would kind of make it look a little bit better. The card's not horrible, but I don't know if I would necessarily put the sentiment there. Or flat on the vellum. I should have done it on a piece of cardstock. I don't know. But the sequins do help. I do add quite a bit of sequins to give it some sparkle. So for card 5, I decided to go ahead and make a shaker card. The kit came with some tulle. So of course, I think a couple other designers did this as well. I try not to watch their video until I have my cards made because I don't want to accidentally copy some of their designs. But I know Jennifer McGuire has done the tulle shaker card and I've been wanting to try it. So I'm like, why not? So I use a circle die to cut out this circle. I adhere the tulle with some double-sided tape. This is actually a scallop die, but the scallop is on the inside. I'm not sure exactly what that's called. But the scallop part is cut out, which I was really disappointed when I got these dies because I thought that it would just cut a scallop on the inside and cut the middle of the circle out, if that makes any sense. But it doesn't. It cuts the scallop piece out as well. It's my fault. I should have researched it more when I bought it. But I go ahead and add some foam tape around the circle. And then I go ahead and place my sequins on my card base. And then remove my foam tape, and then I will adhere my panel to my card base. And then that scallop piece that was cut out, I do put double-sided tape on it off camera. And then here you see me, I will adhere it back in place. And I'm doing this, and I didn't even think to line it up where it was cut out from, since that's a pattern paper with roses. I didn't even try to match it back up, but whatever. So yeah, I did use double-sided tape. I was worried, and this is the die cut rose. I was worried when I adhered that scallop piece that it would mess up my sequins, but my sequins still move, since adhesive is on the back and can obviously go through the tulle. So for the sentiment, I just added this sticker. So moving on to card 6, I actually really like this card. I love the ribbon that came in the kit, this kind of burlap ribbon with berries. So I cut a strip of it, and I'm going to put it in the center of this card once I trim it up and get it nice and neat. I'll adhere that to my card base. And then I bring in a different stamp set. I thought this ribbon was really nice and could be used for Christmas. So I bring in this, I forget what it's called, but I'll show you here in a second. It's a Stampin' Up! Ready for Christmas, and I used that A Wish for Everything Merry. It was perfect layout of what I wanted. So I stamped that with my cherry cobbler ink on Very Vanilla. And then I use a circle die to die cut that out. I'll then add some Stampin' Dimensionals to my sentiment and pop that up in the center of my card. And then that will complete this card once I pop it up, or I use some 3M foam tape. Oh, I think I do add a bow. Let's see. Yes, I do add a bow, some of the wider ribbon to the sentiment, just to kind of give it a little something extra. Use a glue dot to adhere that. Then that will complete this card. Really simple, but I do like it a lot. Card 7, I'm bringing in Power Poppy Peony Muse for one of my sentiments. I believe this is a white piece of cardstock. I'm going to go and stamp it in that same cherry cobbler ink, and I will use a heart die to cut that out. And then I do bring in another piece of vellum, which I have trimmed down. And gonna go ahead and run it through my sticker maker to make the back side sticky, but not being able to see the adhesive, which is always nice. I'm gonna take this Very Vanilla. That cardstock can't be white, but it sure looked white next to the vanilla. Anyway. My Very Vanilla cardstock's a little bit lighter than the vanilla that was in the kit, but you can't really notice. So I'm pretty sure this is Very Vanilla that I stamped my sentiment on. And I go ahead and stamp that, You're in My Prayers, in the corner there. And I add a bow. I actually really like how this card turned out. I like the little window or the door, whatever it is, and then the roses at the bottom. It's just nice and subtle. Sympathy card or inspirational card. So for card 8, I'm bringing in another of this beautiful paper that came in the kit, the pearlescent with the this is kind of swirls on it. I use more of the silver ribbon, the leaves, and I'm using a fine tip glue pen to add adhesive, and then I go ahead and flip it over and adhere it to my card base. And originally I was going to make a landscape style card, but decided to go ahead and flip it and make a portrait style. But my leaves are all flowing downward. So if you be careful if you accidentally, not accidentally, but if you want to change your mind at the last minute that your leaves are facing the right way. Not a big deal, but I would have had them facing going in the upward direction. So here you'll see what I'm talking about, but who cares? Who's going to notice? I'm using that same Christmas stamp set. I thought this would make a nice Christmas card with the silver. I'm using basic gray ink because I thought it went really well with the silver card base and the silver leaves. Go ahead and cut that out, and I purposely had a little bit of my circle die hanging off. I've seen this card design before, having half of the circle off, but I don't think I've actually tried it. So I wanted to give it a shot, and I really like the way the way it looks. I do add a bow, and I believe I add a little bit of the little embellishment, enamel dots, or whatever you call them, to this card, I think. I just made these cards last night, and I couldn't even tell you everything I did. Yes, here they are. So here, they're just some silver little, tiny little dots that I add here and there. I think I only did 3. And that would complete that card. So for card 9, I'm taking some of this ribbon. I thought, well, I'll kind of do it a little wonky. I do not like this card, but I just went with it. So I'm just wrapping the ribbon around, adhering it, and I do that with the other 2, but kind of have them at an angle. I add a glue dot to the bottom underneath the ribbon in the center, just kind of keep them flat so they don't get caught on anything or want to come up, just a little more security. I take this sticker, attach it to the vellum, which was really pointless because I do fussy cut out the vellum and there's a very slight border with the sticker, and it's like, why did I do that? Can't even tell. But I didn't want to stick the sticker directly on this pattern paper because the pattern paper is so busy, but that's okay. I do take these little wheels and decide to go ahead and throw those on there. I was going to use a glue dot. That didn't work because the wheel at the back is a little bit raised so that the glue dot wouldn't adhere to it and the card. So I'm using these mini Stampin' Dimensionals. They seem to be fine, but if I were to mail this card off, I would have to check to make sure they're pretty secure. So then I take this piece, go ahead and pop it up and adhere it there, and I believe that will complete this card. I do not like the card at all. If you like it, great. I figure someone may like it. It's all our different tastes, so I left it in there. But finally, for card 10, I'm kind of doing a different version of what I did earlier with this ribbon. So I'm taking a green card base. I'm going to do a portrait style this time. I cut 2 pieces of this ribbon. Go ahead and adhere it down. The bottom one is way too far down, but I do adjust it. Right here, it came right up. My ATG gun will hold it down, but it was real easy to pull up. So as long as you're not messing with it, it should stay. Bringing in that same sentiment, which I adore that font. It's really pretty. So I really liked using that stamp set, or that sentiment in that stamp set. Go ahead and pop up my sentiment, adhere that down. I do add another ribbon. I had this ribbon left over, so I figured might as well use it. I will adhere this ribbon, or this bow, to the bottom of my sentiment, adhering it with glue dots. And then that will complete this card. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and found some inspiration, whether you have the kit or not. All of Lizi's information will be listed below if you're interested in subscribing to her kits or checking out her shop. Here is what I had left over in the kit. These 4 full sheets, actually I think I have 5, of pattern paper. There's another one, some scraps, these 2 glitter tags, that ribbon, some vellum pieces, the doilies, the little enamel dots, the die, the frames, 2 calendars, Nuvo drops, that chameleon pen, which I tried to use, but again, failed. I cut out all of that in the video. So, unfortunately, I did not use that pen, and then the stickers, of course. So, let me know what you think of the cards. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!